Now, it doesn't really matter what form contempt takes in your marriage, whatever form it takes, it is poisonous, and it's virtually impossible to resolve a problem when your partner is getting the message that essentially you're disgusted with them. So inevitably, contempt is going to lead to more and more conflict. Contempt is something that happens in your marriage that is incredibly destructive. As a matter of fact, the research indicates that someone that has entered like the realm of contemptuous behavior towards their spouse is highly, highly at risk for divorce. So we need to understand what this contempt thing really is and how we can address it in our marriage. So I'll start by talking to you just about what contempt is. Contempt is really when you start to create a culture in your marriage where you're consistently putting your spouse down or just speaking towards them with scorn. It happens when you feel or act superior, or you put yourself kind of I'm on a higher plane than my spouse is, or you talk from this condescending period of authority or with this attitude like I'm better or smarter or neater or cleaner or more punctual or whatever. That is contempt. If you've not done that to your spouse, my hunch is you know someone, one of your friends, one of your family members who has. Now, contempt is birthed from a negative habit of mind in which you literally start to scan the environment in your marriage, and rather than looking for what you can appreciate about your spouse and what you can appreciate about what they do, you're looking specifically for your partner's mistakes. So what does contempt look like? Well, sarcasm, cynicism, name-calling, eye-rolling. We all seen that, right? Sneering, mocking people. And here's something that I think happens all the time in many marriages: hostile humor. You ever see somebody that they bear the brunt of their spouse's humor all the time? That is contempt. That's what we're talking about. Now, it doesn't really matter what form contempt takes in your marriage, whatever form it takes, it is poisonous, and it's virtually impossible to resolve a problem when your partner is getting the message that essentially you're disgusted with them. So inevitably, contempt is going to lead to more and more conflict. Now, the interesting thing about contempt is underneath contempt is a desire or a need or a want. There's something inside of you that needs something, and you become contemptuous because over time that need's just not met. The good news is there's something you can do to address this. The quick fix for contempt is to basically just start to talk about what you need. Use those I statements. You ever heard a counselor talk about something like that? I need this from you. That's very, very, very helpful to kind of start to get rid of this in your relationship. The long-term fix for contempt is to build literally a culture that is full of appreciation. And as you build that culture of appreciation, pretty soon you have the antidote for contempt taking place right there in your marriage. When you feel valued and appreciated, you're way less likely to have that contemptuous attitude towards your spouse. Now, how are we going to do that? I'm going to give you just 3 quick things you can do to build that culture of appreciation. Number 1, express appreciation verbally. I appreciate what you do when I walk in the door. You give me this kiss and this hug every day. That feels awesome. Thank you. Another thing you can do, you can express thanks specifically. Thank you for what you did for our kids today. That was pretty amazing. That you're an awesome parent. And finally, the third thing, try hard to express fondness and admiration for your spouse whenever you can. I'm so proud to have you as my wife. I'm just so proud of you as my husband. Last night when we were at that party and we were sitting down to dinner, I was just glad you were by my side. Focus on building a culture of appreciation in your marriage and crush the power of contempt forever.